Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. It's a good job I dye my hair blonde because I think I would be completely grey by now. I have had a week from hell with my two dogs. Those of you obviously that read it in the community pages, thank you so much for all the lovely messages. The fact that Chia got hit by a car and just got away with cuts and bruises is a miracle. I do believe in guardian angels. The two dogs combined this week have certainly given us a few extra grey hairs and some incredible vet bills between them. It's like they're a little tag team. Now, moving away from our two hounds from hell, let's talk about some big news that happened on Thursday, which caused a lot of panic, and that was the fact that the king was hospitalised. Obviously, it sounded very dramatic, mainstream media fueling it. I mean, it's like vultures circling. Whilst obviously I am concerned, you know, the fact is that the king is 76 and he does have cancer. There's a bit of it that I just honestly think he went in for his normal treatment on Thursday, and sometimes with treatments like that, he just went a bit green around the gills and they decided to keep him in for observation. Many of you guys that have spoken to me before in the comments that you yourself or people that you know and love have been through cancer treatments, you can sometimes have good weeks and you can sometimes have bad weeks, and it was obvious that the king just wasn't feeling well enough to continue with his daily activities. Now, because of the amount of coordination that it takes to manage the king's diary with police protection, organising where he's going to be, to military precision, that they had to cancel his engagements, not knowing that when he was going to feel a little bit better. The Queen has said a couple of times that trying to get the king to sit still is a bit of a mission in itself, so I can imagine she might have even put in a phone call to say, you best keep him in there, because if he comes out, he's going to be fiddling with paperwork and all sorts of things. The fact that the Queen did not rush to be by his side and Prince William was carrying on with his engagements and didn't look stressed out or upset makes me think, as I said, this was just precautionary, because the king as well looked absolutely fine on Tuesday night when he was at a joint engagement thrown by his wife and the Duchess of Gloucester at Clarence House. This was because the Queen has now created a medal for the Queen's Reading Room to honour people in their local communities that are encouraging storytelling and championing reading with adults and children. There were lots of famous faces there: Helena Bonham Carter, Miriam Margolyes and Richard E. Grant, and the king looked like he was having a lovely time, as he did the following day on Wednesday when he attended a reception at Buckingham Palace for over 400 regional media reporters and news correspondents. He looked perfectly fit and well, and I would say a little bit jolly as he chatted to the many guests. This is why I think he just went in for his treatment, and this week it just turned him a little bit green around the gills, so I don't think anybody needs to panic just yet. So, 24 hours after this story broke, we got the usual let's feel sorry for Prince Harry stories, who only found out that his father was unwell when the media reported it. Nobody notified poor little Harry over in Montecito. Well, whose fault is that? How can they trust him not to give an exclusive for a quick buck to one of his favoured outlets? Harry has proved time and time again that there is nothing that he will not sell if the price is right. Even the last time he came over for the emergency dash to see the king, when he was only allowed to see his father for 20 minutes and it apparently ran like a staff meeting with witnesses because they simply can't trust him. The next day they advertised Harry's Whistler interview, which was meant to be about the Invictus Games, as an update on the king's health. Obviously, Harry didn't get told anything by the king, so he didn't say much in the interview, but I will bet you my last pound, had he been told anything, it would have come out either through Harry directly on that interview, or it would have come out later from sources close to the couple. Harry has betrayed his family too many times and he's reaping what he sowed. But in all honesty, I doubt he's even actually upset. This is just about emotional manipulation for the public. Harry knows that his father has cancer, he knows that his father's unwell, and he has made no effort to come over and to spend time with his father. That's if the king even wants to see him at this point. Harry could bring his children over to actually get to know their grandfather, but he has done no such things. He's blaming it on security, but he knows if he was coming over to visit the king, he would have security, he would have police protection, and his family would be completely safe behind palace walls. Harry chooses not to come over with his children, despite knowing that he he would have the full police protection that he's saying what he so desperately needs. This is all about still trying to manipulate the public and trying to weaponize the public against the royal family. Harry has learnt absolutely nothing, and he is definitely not remorseful for any of his actions. Now, as for Prince William, he is known by many titles, and this one engagement he is better known as the Duke of Rothesay, which is his title when he is in Scotland. He met with the first graduates from an initiative called Invisible Cities. He launched the initiative in Aberdeen, which offers guided tours of the city, of which you can see Prince William taking one of these tours himself, by people that have experienced homelessness. The 4-week course provides people with various training and learning lots of different skills, which enables them at the end of the course that they can become a guide, or they can take the new skills that they've learned to other employment opportunities. Invisible Cities will soon be rolled out across the other 5 Homewards locations. Homewards was launched by Prince William and the Royal Foundation in 2023, and it chose 6 locations to lead a new programme to demonstrate that when organisations and people come together without all of the political red tape, that it is in fact possible to end homelessness. And he took inspiration, or rather he is using the Finnish model, because Finland found a way that they could actually eradicate homelessness altogether. Prince William met up with a familiar face, an advocate for Homewards, and this is Gail Porter. She was a TV star in the 90s, Top of the Pops, every breakfast show, she was everywhere, and more famously, she had her naked derriere projected on the Houses of Parliament. This was at the height of her fame. She is an advocate for Homewards as her life took a very sad turn, and she ended up homeless after going bankrupt in 2017. She is the perfect champion for this project because she shows that no matter what walk of life you come from, a series of unfortunate events can happen to anybody. Prince William and Gail went to meet with one of the residents who has just been helped by Homewards at one of the 31 newly refurbished homes that are in Aberdeen as part of the housing project. He also met with another Homewards advocate who is a popular podcaster, the Diary of a CEO, an entrepreneur, and also a dragon. This is Stephen Bartlett. They were there to mark the launch of a partnership between Hayes Recruitment Agency and Homewards Activator Partnership to help create pathways between people that are very close to becoming homeless and providing them with employment and training opportunities. Homewards just isn't trying to help those already living on the streets, but also finding ways to stop people from becoming homeless in the first place. Now, another big engagement for Prince William was on the 26th of March, and he met with 2 stars from Clarkson's Farm, the wonderful Caleb Cooper and farming consultant Charlie Ireland. Prince William revealed that Prince George is a fan of the show that centres around Diddley Squat Farm, which was created by former Top Gear host Jeremy Clarkson. His visit was not, however, to Diddley Squat Farm, but to Folly Farm in Somerset in his role as patron of We Are Farming Minds. It's a charity that aims to support farmers struggling with their mental health, whether it be due to the isolation that their jobs entail or monetary concerns. Seeing Prince William supporting farmers honestly couldn't come at a better time, and the Amazon cameras were there with him, so Prince George will get to see his father on an episode of Clarkson's Farm at some point. When William told his eldest son, however, what he was doing, he asked Prince George if he had a message for Caleb. The young prince told his father to tell him to mind his language. Caleb laughed about it later to the reporters, and he said that he was told off, but at the same time it was awesome. You can imagine swearing and Prince William telling him off. I just wonder if he got a finger wag at the same time. Now, the fact that Prince William is appearing on that show in particular will no doubt upset the Ginger Whinger of MONTECITO, as he famously tried to get Jeremy Clarkson cancelled after he said that he hated Meghan on a cellular level in his column for The Sun newspaper. He said that he hated her, he didn't hate her as much as serial killers, but what he did say is sometimes he lies in bed at night and he is dreaming of Meghan being stripped naked and people throwing excrement at her as she walks down the streets with people yelling shame, shame, shame. Now, bearing in mind, when he said this, the Queen had died a matter of months earlier and Netflix had just aired. People were, of course, very angry. But the reason why he said that was on Netflix, Meghan compared meeting the Queen to go into a medieval fancy dress. That's when she did that really disrespectful curtsy or bow as Harry smirked and watched his wife. And it was a medieval punishment doled out, but more famously, people had seen it on Game of Thrones when Cersei Lannister had it done to her. But of course, it got twisted by Harry and Meghan and their team that it was misogynistic, spreading conspiracy theories and a hateful rhetoric coming from those two and the crap that they told everybody on Netflix.
I wanted to go somewhere to get help, but I wasn't allowed to. They were concerned about how that would look for the institution.
Now, thankfully, people love Jeremy Clarkson a lot more than they like Harry and Meghan. You can tell it was Harry and Meghan flexing their muscles again like they did, which saw Piers Morgan leave his job on a TV show because he'd refused to apologise for what he said about Meghan and Harry and the lies that they told Oprah. As for Harry being upset, well, let's be honest, it's a very small window when Harry is not upset at the moment, but he is especially really angry and heartbroken and devastated, and apparently his mental health is now struggling due to the fallout with Dr. Chanduka and Centre Barley. Harry quite clearly using another manipulative tactic. He's deployed the mental health card. Oh, Harry can't cope. Might I suggest Harry rings Better Up, the mental health organisation or mental fitness organisation that he gets paid big money to promote. If it's good enough for him to push that onto veterans and to emergency responders who have experienced real trauma on a regular basis, then I'd imagine that it should be good enough for him. Harry might need to do quite a few mental fitness exercises to keep him calm though, because I tell you what, Dr. Chanduka is not taking the constant attacks from Harry and the trustees in the media. She has gone to the Financial Times and she has said two very telling things which definitely don't look good for Harry. First of all, and I totally agree with this statement, Dr. Chanduka states that the number one risk for this organisation was the toxicity of the lead patron's brand. She was saying that a lot of their finances and funding had dipped because of everything that Harry had done. Of course it has. We've seen this across the board. Any organisation that Harry and Meghan are affiliated to, people do not want to donate to, especially because they think that Harry and Meghan are skimming the till. They've got their hands in the cookie jar. I'm not saying that they definitely have, but there was a few whistleblowers, if you remember, also at Invictus Canada that found themselves reshuffled around about the same time that they were expressing concerns the amount of money that was being spent on Harry and his wife. Now, the other big thing that was said in this interview was she had refused to defend Meghan publicly. This goes back to April 2024, and I am presuming because of this. Apparently, Dr. Chanduka was asked by Harry and his team to defend Meghan publicly, and she said that her position and Centre Barley should not be used as an extension of the Sussex PR machine. So I can imagine with Meghan's influence and possibly a few tantrums behind the scenes, you can see why Harry went from hugging her to trying to oust her from the organisation alongside the other trustees. Now, it's not just Harry that I'm sure could benefit from a few mental fitness exercises and a subscription from Better Up. His wife probably could as well, because Meghan is still receiving backlash, but from prominent voices. You've got one in Hollywood and a man of the cloth. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Father Brendan Kilcoyne and his thoughts on With Love, Meghan.
Her poor deluded noggins of a husband. I recommend that you watch some of this. You could do it for Lent. Okay, offered up. It's cat. It's cat in the Irish sense, meaning that's bloody awful. All right? But it's so cat. It's catissimo. It's so cat, it's actually quite good. So get yourself, if you're not off them for Lent, a packet of wine gums or some popcorn, you know, right? You sit back and you just drink in the mediocrity and savour the narrow escape that one of the most distinguished royal lions in the world has just had. As a good Irishman, I say, God save the king.
Brilliant, isn't it? Honestly, I had to check that he was a real priest before I promoted that, and I was like, oh yeah, no, he is. Oh, you know she is going to be fuming over that one. It's so funny, isn't it? People just don't care, but I did love that. You know, you should do it for Lent. Now we have another doozy from ex-Vanity Fair editor Graydon Carter, who I told you about in the last video, who said of Meghan the fact that he didn't know who she was, and she was pretty much detached from reality when she had booked herself, I think she booked herself for Vanity Fair, and then proceeded to say, but you're not talking about my philanthropy and my charitable work, given the fact that she'd only recently started that up as a hobby to trap this fool. This is for Interview magazine, and what they've got in there, they ask guests, it's a psychological test. It's called the Rorschach test, where you would normally show people lots of ink blots. What they do is they say words or people's names, and they want your immediate reaction to it. So here you can see they're asking him random bits, his quick time reactions, and Meghan Markle comes up, and quick as a flash, he says the Undine Spragg of Montecito. This, my friends, is definitely going to be her new nickname, and you're about to find out why. For those of you that don't know, Undine Spragg was the main character in The Custom of the Country, a book written by Edith Warton, published in 1913. It's a story about a vain, spoiled, selfish social climber who marries a rich man in New York's high society, but she's never happy because of her own greed and ambition. Now, it's not the first time that Meghan has been referenced to this character and that book. In 2021, author Claire Misud said in the New York Times, "It isn't hard to find contemporary examples of tenacious social climbing all around us. For these women, marriage often works like a business, a carefully calculated investment in their future. Perhaps the present-day celebrity who most readily recalls Undine Spragg is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, or Rachel Meghan Markle of Woodland Hills, California, as she was once known." Oh, that burn! Wow, I'm just gutted I only found this now. But as for Graydon Carter calling her the Spragg of Montecito, what a deliciously fitting new nickname for her. The comparisons between Undine Spragg and Meghan is actually uncanny, isn't it? So guys, I will end on that cheery note, and I will see you very soon. Take care for now. Bye!